Hi there, welcome to HUD's History. This is an AP review for the region of Asia. This is for the National College Board exam that happens in May. So feel free to use your review book if you have one. Feel free to do this on your own. It's got activities. If you want to do it with a friend or friends, that's fine too. If you want to share the video, that's awesome too. I've just given you some activities to do here. So follow along with it. You can pause the video as you do the activities because it's got some timers in it. So if you want to pause, go back, go forward, whatever with it, and do it, that's awesome. But it's just to help you get through some activities to help kind of get that uh, blood flowing in your brain so that you can do well on the AP test. So get your stuff ready. And as soon as you're ready to go, just hit play for the next part and have a good time with the AP review. So welcome to the Hudson History AP Review of Asia. This review is just going to give you some time so that you can use your content knowledge over this specific region. And feel free to use any of these activities or exercises on your own, or if you want to work with others to kind of promote that sharing of ideas to kind of get an idea of what you may need to go back and cover on your own or what your strengths and weaknesses are. That's always a good way of doing some of these reviews. Some key things here. If you have notes or you have your AP review book, you might want to use that as you go through these activities. Make sure you keep studying and reviewing, and know that in the written parts, there's not always one right answer. There can be multiple explanations, especially when you are answering a prompt in the SAE portion of the exam. So here are the topics, and it covers the time period of 1200 to 1450. You have Asia, India ocean trade, the Mongols, and Silk Road trade. So here's your first activity, and it's just a brainstorming of Asia. As you can see, here's the spice chart, the different spice elements. So what you need to do is try to think of an example of each spice element for Asia during this time period. So what that means is you can do whatever kind of brainstorming you need to. If you want to do a web, if you want to do a list, if you want to do a chart, if you want to do some sort of mind map, do whatever is comfortable for you in your brainstorming, but you want to try and think of a specific example for each of these spice elements. So think of something in Asia that was social, maybe the class structure or the gender roles and relationships. Maybe for political, you're thinking of the way that their legal system was or their type of government, how they interact with the environment, and then what type of cultural things they had within Asia, and then of course economics, which can be anything from labor systems to their type of trade. So what you might want to do is kind of focus yourself by giving yourself a timer. I would suggest a 5-minute timer because for your LAQ, you do get a 5-minute brainstorming session. For the DBQ, you do get about a 15-minute one. But feel free to set a timer, pause the video as you do this, and then after you get done with that 5 minutes, see what did you come up with. If you're doing this on your own, it's a good idea to see what you came up with and then go back into your AP review book just to kind of see what you have compared to what is in the AP review book. If you're doing it with a friend, you could do it where you both decide to write down everything you can and then compare, or you could compare or go together and just verbally uh, brainstorm it out, but then write it down as you go and see what you can come up with your friend or your study group itself. So feel free to pause the video and then do your 5-minute timer. The second activity here is based off a prompt. And what you want to do is brainstorm the topics that you could discuss using this prompt that's written here. The prompt is analyze how the Indian trade route impacted cultural diffusion from 1200 to 1450 CE. This is a prompt you might see either on the DBQ or the LEQ. You can use another timer if you're thinking it might be like an LEQ type of prompt, then a 5-minute timer is appropriate. If you think there might be documents associated with it, then you want to use a timer of about 10 to 15 minutes. But this is a good topic for you to figure out, do you know information based off of the region, which is the Indian trade route region, the spice element, which is cultural because it's cultural diffusion, and then the time period, 1200 to 1450. This is a map of the Indian Ocean trade route, just to give you an idea if you do get some sort of map or a document associated with it, so you understand the region, and the different lines just show you the routes being taken in the red and in the purple. The green is just a hypothetical route that could have been used at the same time. So feel free to use this map as you go through your brainstorm. Again, if you want to pause and do a timer, feel free to, and then you can continue on with your activity. Final activity here is just a comparison. We know that comparing is one of the writing type of skills that you can do. So what you want to do is kind of create a T-chart. You can do a Venn diagram if you want, but a T-chart is very helpful in this, and use your notes and your knowledge that you have learned to answer this prompt. Compare the Silk Road before and after the Mongols took control of Asia. So you're looking at comparing, and you're looking at the before and after. So you need to make sure that you understand what the Silk Road trade route was like before the Mongols took over and then after the Mongols took over. And understanding that this is in Asia because the Mongols, of course, controlled most of Asia as they expanded their empire. That's a good thing. If you want to use a timer on this as well, again, a good 5-minute timer is good if you are doing an LEQ type of prompt. Or if you think this might be a document type, you can do a DBQ as well. This could also be a SAQ, short answer question prompt, an A, B, and C, somewhere in your AP test. So feel free to do the T-chart and then compare. Again, if you have a friend that you're working with, maybe one of you does before, the other one does the after, or maybe you just both brainstorm it out as fast as possible, and then you can talk about it. So go ahead and pause the video as you need to, and then do your activity, and then you'll be finishing up. So congratulations, you just got through an AP review session over Asia. Again, make sure that you are looking at your AP review book and you're doing a little bit of that review either on a weekly basis or not necessarily a daily basis, but maybe pick a region or a time period as you go through and do it. So congratulations on getting through this activity session over Asia.